Hey, what's going on today? It's your girl, Dr. Jackie, and I am getting ready to do another reading of our book club. So, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're staying warm wherever you are in the country. So, we are reading Be Your Future Self Now, Be Your Future Self Now by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. And we are in part 3 of this. We're going to begin on page 141. But before I jump in, for those who are new to my page, again, my name is Dr. J. I am out of Kentucky, and I want you to like and subscribe so that you can be notified of when we go next. And I also need some recommendations of our next book. So, what do you think should be our next book that is all about personal development? Because your income is only going to grow as far as your mindset. So, your income's never going to outweigh your mindset. If it does, your income will come back down to where your mindset is, which is why you have people who win the lottery, celebrities, athletes who get a lot of money and then they blow it and then they're back down to where they were, right? So to take where we are to where we really want to maintain that income, attract more income, we have got to grow up here. So our mindset plays a big part in being able to increase that income and maintain that income on a high level, or to keep that income increasing. So you don't know what you don't know. So that's why we're reading something new, Be Your Future Self. Okay, so I'm going to do a summary. And then if there's any topic that interests you, you can go back on my YouTube channel and click videos, and then you will see all the replays of what I have previously read to you. Okay, so part 1 was 7 threats to your future self. Threat A, without hope in your future, your present loses meaning. Threat B, a reactive narrative about your past stunts your future. Threat C, being unaware of your environment creates a random evolution. Threat D, being disconnected from your future self leads to myopic decisions. Threat E, urgent battles and small goals keeps you stuck. Threat F, not being in the arena is failing by default. Threat G, success is often the catalyst for failure. And H was the conclusion to future self threats. Then we started part 2, 7 truths about your future self. I was your truth number 1, your future drives your present. Truth J, your future self is different than you expect. Truth K, your future self is the Pied Piper. Truth L, the more vivid and detailed your future self, the faster you'll progress. Truth M, failing as your future self is better than succeeding as your current self. Truth N, success is achieved by being true to your future self, nothing else. Truth O, your view of God impacts your future self. And then we also in O did a future self-truth conclusion. So now we are in part 3, and there's 7 steps for being your future self. And the first step, P, was clarify your contextual purpose. And now we are on Q, eliminate lesser goals. And I have to be mindful of the time as I have to be somewhere. All right, so Q, eliminate lesser goals. We are kept from our goals, not by obstacles, but by a clear path to a lesser goal. Robert Brault said, we are kept from our goal, not by obstacles, but by a clearer path to a lesser goal. All right, let's dig in. In 1975, a young boy in England known for devouring comics and carrying a book everywhere wrote a list of things his future self would accomplish. Write an adult novel, a children's book, a comic, a movie, record an audiobook, write an episode of Doctor Who. As Neil Gaiman grew older, his list evolved. He wanted to be an author, primarily of fiction, making good books, making good comics, and supporting himself through his works. A strategy he used for reaching his goals was imagining his future self as a distant mountain he walked toward. That's what he pictured. Every time he was presented an opportunity, he asked himself, does this take me closer to or further from the mountain? If a particular opportunity did not take him closer to the mountain, Neil said no. As he stated in a commencement speech in 2012, I knew that as long as I kept walking towards the mountain, I would be all right. And when I truly was not sure what to do, I could stop and think about whether it was taking me towards or away from the mountain. I said no to editorial jobs on magazines, proper jobs that would have paid proper money, because I knew How attractive though they were for me, that they would have been walking away from the mountain. And if those jobs offers had come along earlier, I might have taken them because they still would have been closer to the mountain than I was at the time. Neil's mountain strategy worked. He became one of the world's most famous fiction authors and a pioneer of adult comics. Yes. Have won awards. His books have won awards, including the Hugo, Nubula, and Brain Stroker, as well as the Newbery and Carnegie medals. I might have butchered that. Okay. With his previous mountains far behind him, Neil became his desired future self and more. His future self continues to evolve. He arrived at his mountain by staying focused and eliminating conflicting and lesser goals along the way. Your results follow what you're most committed to in a single instant. The easiest way to see what you're committed to is by observing your own behavior. If you're trying to work on a project but continually distract yourself with other things, then you're committed to the distractions. The distractions are the greater goal in that moment. If you say you're committed to having an amazing retirement but consistently spend away your paycheck, then you're committed to spending, not committed to investing. If you say you're committed to starting a side hustle, but your spare time is spent on social media or with friends, then you're committed to social media and you're committed to friends, not to your side hustle. Unless the friends and the side hustle is helping, unless the social media and the friends are helping in the side hustle. When Neil said no to the editorial job, he proved his commitment to the mountain. Your behavior reflects what you see as your future self. Your behavior reflects your commitment, and therefore your results reflect your commitment. To requote Jim Dethmer, Diane Chapman, and Kaylee Klemp, commitment is a statement of what is. You can know what you're committed to by your results, not by what you say your commitments are. We are all committed. We are all producing results. The result is proof of a commitment. Right now, you're committed to your current life and habits. You're committed to your current results. You're reading this book because you want better results. You want new commitments. Once you've clarified a specific goal, you have to ask yourself, am I committed enough to uncommit to what I currently have? If you truly are committed to something new and better, you'll stop much of what you're currently doing. So, this step of being your future self is simplifying your life by removing lesser goals. In every moment, you're faced with one or two options: commit to your mountain or yield to a lesser goal. That lesser goal could be an infinite number of things, from checking email or social media to eating that dessert. It could be continuing your day job when you know you want something different. Anything that isn't taking you towards your future self mountain is a lesser goal. About commitment, the late Harvard business professional Clayton Christensen said 100% is easier than 98%. It's easier to commit to something 100% because you've committed. You've eliminated the internal conflict. You've silenced the decision fatigue. You've managed the lesser goals. Commitment requires diligence. There's never a time when lesser goals won't present themselves to you. Often we maintain many of our habits or relationships because we're scared to commit. We're frightened of the repercussions of that commitment. So rather than eliminate that clear path to lesser goals, we continue to maintain the lesser path. Motivationally, our goal conflicting behavior makes sense. To have motivation, you have a compelling outcome or reward, a path for attaining that outcome, and the confidence to execute that path. You might have to rewind on some of this because I'm going pretty fast. Lesser goals are compelling because they're easy. They offer a quick reward or dopamine hit. Probably we commit to our lesser goals far more than we commit to our genuine wishes. Lesser goals are weeds in the garden of life. Every time you engage in a lesser goal, it's the equivalent of planting a weed in your garden. Whatever you plant will produce your results. What is your garden producing? Is your garden optimized for your future self? Is it totally chaotic and full of weeds? In the previous step, we clarified your contextual purpose. We defined your core 3 priorities. We set specific and measurable targets for each priority. We shaped your mountain. We visualized your garden. This is the future self you want, right? This is your purpose, which according to Viktor Frankl gives your life meaning. To realize your future self, commit 100% to your purpose. Your purpose and identity are interconnected. Your identity is what you're most committed to. Your identity follows your purpose. If you're going to realize your purpose, then this step to being your future self is uncommitting to lesser goals. These lesser goals are structural aspects of your current life and the moment-by-moment decisions you make throughout your day. By structural aspects, I mean your current habits, your current behaviors, and your current relationships. There are a lot of things you do throughout your day that conflict with your contextual purpose. What are those lesser goals? What are the major things in your life that oppose your contextual purpose? What in your life is outside your 3 priorities? What are you still saying yes to that your desired future self would say no to? What are you continuing to commit to and invest in that is taking you away from where you really want to go? This assessment requires brutal honesty. Your behavior clearly reflects at every moment what you're committed to. In every instant, you're presented with the option to live your purpose or submit to a lesser goal. Eliminating lesser goals. Eliminating lesser is a continual process. As a writer, every day and every moment, I have the choice. Write the book or do something else. Life is dynamic, not static. In almost every instance, you have multiple options, distractions, other people's agendas, and your own conflicting desires. It takes mindfulness and discernment to know in a given moment what is the best decision to make. For instance, if your child has an injury or in the case an emergency, clearly you need to head to the hospital. But in most moments, the path may not be that obvious. Unless, like Gaiman, we have a specific mountain to move toward. Only after you've committed to a specific purpose with clear priorities can you discern what's best to do in a given moment. Is this taking me toward my objective? Is this the most effective thing I can do? If the answer is no, then refocus on your vision. When you slip and pursue a lesser goal, quickly recommit to your vision. The French writer and poet Antoine de Saint-Exupéry said, "Perfection is achieved, not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. Perfection is not when there's nothing left to add. Perfection is when there's nothing left to remove." What lesser goals can you immediately eliminate? Each day and in each moment, you'll face goal conflicts. What will you do as those moments arise? Your behavior demonstrates what you're truly committed to. This step of being your future self is removing lesser goals. This is a fundamental step of being your future self now. And there it is. Tune in next time for the next step of becoming. I'm Dr. J, and I hope you learned something today. Stay tuned. Take care. God bless.